Well, thank you so much, Father, and thanks for allowing me to say a few words today about your parish and also about the unbelievable work that you're doing in the parish. It's not being gone unnoticed anywhere. You're just phenomenal in your work and the work that you're doing here in the parish. And you're infectious, so of course that's why we're here as well. And I did. Can you imagine me sending him 5 emails begging him to call me because I wanted to help and he didn't do it? But then one day he did, and I was happy to be here with him. So thank you so much, Father. It really is my pleasure to be working with you and the faculty and the family, the staff, the alumni, all of the folks who make this parish what it is, the benefactors, the volunteers, and I'm just so happy to be here for this first annual fundraising gala, the Messengers of Hope that we put together for C.S.R. School. I've come to notice the hard work that's being done here in Catholic education and in education in general, and to know the work of this parish, and a parish that was once the largest church in the diocese, I think. It was the mother church of the diocese. If you can look at the size of this was a community that was made up of hard-working men and women. Exxon Refinery and all of the big refineries on the Mississippi River brought people from all over the communities in Louisiana here, and this church was built. And it inspired so many and so many of us to continue to look at the work that's being done here. I've come to know the history of the parish. I've come to know the work that's being done here. I know the hard work that you're every single day working to get these young men and women trained in the Word of God, and we just want to be a small part of it. So that's why I was desperately trying to get in touch with you to ask a simple question: how can we help? I've come to realize that we're not so different. You know, North Baton Rouge, as I mentioned, was a blue-collar community, and students who attended St. Gerard Redemptorist came from hard-working Catholic families over the years. Likewise, I myself grew up in a small Catholic area, totally Catholic area, small, impoverished area of Louisiana on the east bank of the river. We call it the best bank of the river back then in St. James Parish. We lived on the River Road, a simple community where everybody knew everybody, everybody helped everybody, African-American, white, Spanish, all the different people working in the swamplands of Louisiana, the lumbermen, all simple people who gave everything they had to the community. And when my mother passed away in 1955 in childbirth, leaving 9 children behind, the whole community came and rescued our family. My dad never remarried, but it instilled in us at the hands of an African-American mother who came into our home that anything is possible. Anything is possible. And she just cuddled us in her arms with our 5 children, and she was the mother we knew, and she inspired me to realize that we have to do what she did, and that is to share the greatness and the good that we have with those unfortunate. The Mississippi River was at our front door, as I mentioned, and just a few yards behind the river was the best crawfishing and the best hunting places that a boy could hope for where I grew up. All around us were sugarcane fields where my family worked, and we hunted as young boys where we shot woodcock and rabbit, and that was the main meals on our table. Everyone in our area were financially challenged as we were, but none of us knew it. None of us knew it. We had no idea that we didn't have everything in the world. We all worked hard, and as Daddy said, pray harder. Pray harder. I know a few of you served as altar boys and still serve as altar boys and still here so many years later. Well, I served as an altar boy as well as my 6 brothers at St. James Catholic Church. Father Scheck-Snyder drilled us in those days in our Latin prayers. And every Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning after Saturday Mass, we went to the rectory and studied our Latin prayers. And he made us stand up and recite them until we got it right. Imagine this accent in Latin. He would not let us make a mistake, and he taught us that everything had to be perfect. One day he let me be in charge of ringing the bells at the consecration. And I'll never forget when I picked up the bells and they started to ring, and he turned around like this and looked at me with that stare. I never shook a bell again in my entire life. I got his attention. There were no Catholic schools in our area, and my dad could only afford to send the 8 of us to the little country school, St. James High School, down the road. Some of you alumni from this area who played football against St. James High School might remember me, 10-yard Folse. You laugh. That was me. 10-yard Folse, the cheerleader's choice, they call it. Life was a whole lot simpler back then. I mentioned hunting woodcock. My dad was a trapper. So right on my birth certificate, it said so. Our refrigerator was full with feathers, feet, and fins. And I remember when my first little girlfriend from the city came to my home for the first time and walked into our little Cajun cabin and sat at the kitchen table, very nervous. One of my brothers came in and opened the refrigerator. And when she looked over and saw that everything had feathers and feet on it, she never came back. Well, we were blessed. I can say that St. James Parish was blessed with all the different wild game and foods that we needed. We never wanted for anything. Now, in a community that was 99% monetarily challenged, things like pool dew and waterfowl were plentiful, and we had plenty of mouths to feed. Providentially, our local priests had classified that year with rules from the bishop that pool dew, which was a bird that swam in the Mississippi River and only ate fish, could be eaten on Friday because he considered that bird fully fish. True story. I remember things like that that got us through depression and got us through lack of nothing, but yet never yearned for anything. Well, that gives you a taste of just how poor we were, and which is why I looked so deeply at places like Redemptor St. Gerard and how it has won a place in my heart, and why I hope to join all of you here in this parish of our first Messenger of Hope Gala at White Oak Plantation in Baton Rouge. 100% of the proceeds, not a single nickel raised that night from your generous giving, will go to anyone except this parish. We will cover every nickel of cost as we do with all of our charity. Just to mark your calendars, please know, Sunday, March the 20th, we have a few tickets left at White Oak Estate and Gardens on George O'Neill Lane in Baton Rouge. You can come casual if you like. There's no formal dress codes. However, men normally wear ties and women normally wear a cocktail dress, but there's no rules and regulations when you give in dollars for a fabulous cause. We will have a silent auction that night as well. I'm giving away a dinner for 14, so if there's any corporate groups in here, or if there's anyone who needs to really do a special event, whether it's a 50th anniversary or something like this, that might be something you want to bid on that night, because again, 100% of the proceeds will go to St. Gerard. Live auction again will be done that night. We'll be doing a full hors d'oeuvre hour in our ballroom We'll be seated to a magnificent dinner, corn and crab bisque, beautiful twin beet salad, beef short rib, red velvet cheesecake. Tickets are available. We do have sponsorships. I know we have some great sponsors already from this area. We have some platinum sponsors. $5,000. Remember, every dime is going back right here. Not 1 cent of this captured dollar will go anywhere else except to these pews into the efforts of the priest here. $2,000 gold sponsorships as well. And ticket, you can get them online by going to St. Gerard Church.org. So I'm here today only to ask you to dig deep if you can and come and be a part of this unbelievable event, because as I promised, Father, it will be the first of many to come. I want to continue to support the parish and the work that you and your ministry is doing here. And I thank all of the parishioners of the parish for being here today and for giving me a little bit of time at the podium. So thank you all so much, and bless you for your generosity.
Hold on, John. I think you have to change your career. You need to be a preacher here.
I don't want to be a cook.
So John, he used to be poor and now he's so rich. Yes or no? And he's not just rich with a white oak over there, but his heart is so rich. Can you imagine that? Cooking and donating all the food and location, and even standing here and doing all this on behalf of our students, our school, and our ministry here is a big thing. And he's not doing this once and he's running away. He want to do it every year. It's not easy to prepare for this, but it's worth it. It's time to tell the people the good news here. So on behalf of the school here and the church here, thank you, alumni, that you'll be able to come today. I'm so proud of you. Cindy and Kathy, we have Josie in the C.S.R hall, donuts, coffee, and Cindy will be in the back of here if you wanted to ask any question about Gala tickets. She also have a raffle tickets, 100-pound crawfish. But thank you very much, Chef John Folse. I'm sure you believe in me, and you give me big fish already. And so God bless you, and all your things you do.
And I want to thank the sisters for being here today, too, the Mercedarian sisters from our Cypress Springs Mercedarian Prayer Center in Baton Rouge. What great work it is to see habits in our parish. My God, we just love seeing it. Let's give the sisters a hand, everybody.